Our next speaker is Mr. Tim Gitzel. Tim Gitzel is Chief Executive Officer of Cameco. He has extensive experience in Canadian and international uranium mining activities through more than 30 years of senior management and legal experience. Prior to Cameco, he was Executive Vice President for the mining business unit of Orano in Paris, with responsibility for global uranium, gold exploration and decommissioning operations in 11 countries. He also served as President and Chief Executive Officer of Orano's Canadian subsidiary. He has both a Bachelor of Arts and a Juris Doctorate from the University of Saskatchewan. And may I say that I had the pleasure of being at the University of Saskatchewan last summer for the Nuclear Energy Management School. He is active on several boards and advisory groups, both in industry and in supporting his community. Mr. Gitzel.
Good morning, everyone. Great to be here. Great to see so many old friends and colleagues from over the years in the nuclear business. And let me start by thanking Director General Rafael Grossi for the very warm welcome and the invitation to be here today with all of you. And thank you, sir, for the work that you do every day for all of us around the world. Thank you for that. So this morning I've been asked to share a few words about Cameco's perspective on the global nuclear industry and on both really the challenges and the opportunities that artificial intelligence provides for our operations in one sense and for the growth of nuclear generation. I'll try to do my best with that. First, let me try to quantify the challenge. And you've already seen a whole bunch of numbers and heard a whole bunch of numbers this morning. You're going to hear some more from me. So this chart that is up, that's really what gets us up and moving every morning in Saskatchewan and around the world at our operations. A rapidly rising global energy demand is the challenge that all of us face every day, and it affects all facets of our business. As you can see, and Brent pointed it out, the International Energy Agency is forecasting an 85% increase in global energy demand by 2050. Just think about that for a minute. Consider what that means. That means that every source of electricity that we have today, we either have to keep it or replace it in the next 25 years, and then we have to double it after that. Add the challenges of things like decarbonization and national security and powering artificial intelligence, which is what we're talking about today, to the mix, and we really have a challenge of monumental proportions. Let's just focus, if we can, on AI for a moment. So the energy required, and you've heard it from the speakers, you're going to hear it all in the next 2 days, that's all you'll hear, is it's really unlike anything we've ever seen in this industry. If you noticed just last week, a study by Deloitte in the Wall Street Journal noted that by 2030, global data centers alone will require more energy than the entire country of Japan consumes today, the point the DG just made a little earlier this morning. As you can see in this graph in front of me and behind me, in 5 short years, AI-optimized servers will consume 5 times more electricity than they do today. Overall, electricity consumption by data centers is expected to double in 5 years. Again, according to the IAEA, AI-driven data processing in the United States is expected to consume more electricity than aluminum, steel, cement, and chemicals production combined by the end of the decade. The world needs a way to power that growth. The call for nuclear could not be louder. Of course, we all know the advantages that nuclear power has over other forms of electrical generation. It's reliable, it's carbon-free, it's scalable, and it has a significantly smaller footprint. And if you're asking, does that mean SMRs or large reactors, I can tell you it's both. You saw from Rian a little earlier, U.S. tech companies have taken notice and have plans to finance more than 25 gigawatts of SMRs. An example, and he gave many, being Amazon's agreement with Energy Northwest toward funding development and deployment of SMR technology. But the tech sector is also investing in large-scale nuclear now to address their future needs. Tech giants and other major energy users like Amazon, Google, Meta, and others have signed the Large Energy Users Pledge supporting the goal of at least tripling global nuclear capacity by 2050. They've also put those commitments into action by resurrecting shuttered plants, such as the former 3 Mile Island Unit 1, the restart of Palisades in Michigan, and the eventual restart of Duane Arnold in Iowa. Under current scenarios, nuclear output is expected to increase by 35% in the next decade and at least double by 2050. Under any scenario, nuclear generation around the world needs to increase dramatically. And I can tell you our goal at Cameco, along with 33 countries and over 120 companies, is to see nuclear power triple by 2050. So here's where nuclear generation's at right now. 441 reactors, you know these numbers, operating in 31 countries. 69, I see 71 from the WNA, new reactors, under construction in 14 countries, and 13 of the new reactors will begin operations in 2026. So you might ask, what's Cameco doing to help achieve the goal of tripling nuclear power by 2050? For those of you who might be unfamiliar with Cameco, we're a global nuclear energy company. We're headquartered in Canada. The province of Saskatchewan, where I live, is home to 2 of the largest high-grade uranium deposits in the world, which we currently operate at McArthur River and at Cigar Lake. We also have a 40% interest in JV Inkai, a joint venture with Kazatomprom in Kazakhstan, as well as mining properties in the United States and in Australia. We maintain an extensive portfolio of exploration projects, about 1.6 million acres up in the Athabasca region in northern Saskatchewan. In Ontario, Canada, we send uranium ore there. It comes there from all around the world to our Blind River refinery, which is the largest uranium refinery in the world. After refining, the uranium is then sent to our Port Hope conversion facility, which produces UF6 for light water reactors and UO2 for heavy water reactors. And on the enrichment front, we have a 49% interest in global laser enrichment, which is working to bring yet a new 3rd-generation enrichment technology to commercialization. Finally, Cameco is also a joint owner of Westinghouse, an original equipment manufacturer of nuclear reactor technology used around the world, as well as a global provider of nuclear products and services for commercial utilities and for government agencies. Canada's significant uranium resources and nuclear service infrastructure not only makes our country a key player in the global nuclear fuel supply chain, but it also positions Canada as a leader in enhancing global energy security and supporting clean energy solutions. With our operations across fuel and reactor life cycles, Cameco is positioning itself as a central pillar, supporting the wave of new nuclear plans announced in recent months, starting right at home. Let's focus on North America, if I can, for a moment, and Rian talked about this. In May, President of the United States signed 4 executive orders aimed at revitalizing the U.S. nuclear industry and calling for 10 new large reactors to be under construction by 2030. At the end of October, our company Cameco, along with our partner Brookfield and Westinghouse, announced an $80 billion partnership with the U.S. government to commence building Westinghouse AP1000 reactors across the United States. The work to achieve this is now underway. The U.S. government has made clear that the U.S. once again wants to lead in the nuclear energy space, and this investment in reliable and secure nuclear power generation will contribute significantly to data center and compute capacity that will drive America's growth in AI. Up in Canada, the Ontario government recently announced approval of the refurbishment of 4 CANDU reactors at Pickering, an investment worth nearly $27 billion and adding up to 38 more years of operation. Ontario Power Generation is also constructing the first of 4 SMRs at the Darlington site and is exploring the deployment of 10 gigawatts of new nuclear at its Wesleyville site. Bruce Power, also in Ontario, is also preparing to add large-scale nuclear projects, adding up to 4,800 megawatts of additional capacity. And in our home province of Saskatchewan, the provincial government is committed to introducing nuclear energy, both large and small. I can say that our AP1000 technology is under consideration for all of these new build possibilities. So as I always do, I always remind people that in our excitement to build new reactors, we must not forget about nuclear fuel. Looking at the nuclear fuel cycle, Cameco and Westinghouse are playing a role at every stage. Scaling up production to meet the future demand for nuclear energy will require unprecedented collaboration among like-minded countries in all aspects of the nuclear supply chain. The need, in our view, to blur borders when it comes to supply chain, skills and labor mobility, and regulatory collaboration will set the stage for our ability to meet the challenge. Skilled labor, reactor components, and technical expertise will need to be deployed where they are needed, regardless of where they originated. At Cameco, we believe the growth in the nuclear fuel supply chain must be industry-led and government-enabled. Nuclear fuel cannot be the constraining factor for nuclear growth. Governments and industry must work together to ensure that the nuclear fuel supply is on hand to meet demand. So along with building and fueling nuclear power generation to support AI, Cameco is finding ways to employ artificial intelligence in our own operations to increase safety, production, and efficiency. We've identified 4 key areas where we think AI can help us. First, achieving financial excellence, such as in supply chain, where AI can predict demand patterns and optimize delivery routes to reduce waste and transportation expenses. Second, in project execution, where AI can help improve safety, efficiency, productivity, and overall performance across all phases of large-scale construction projects. Third, for asset optimization, where we can improve asset design, operation, utilization, and maintenance to achieve reliable, low-cost production, and most importantly, number 4, for safety and environment, where implementing AI can shift us from reactive measures to proactive prevention and compliance. So one example of asset optimization is at our Cigar Lake mine that I know many of you have visited in northern Saskatchewan, where we use a unique jet bore mining system. This is an innovative mining method exclusive to Cigar Lake, where we go underground and then we drill up into the ore body from below using a high-pressure water jet to spray the ore and cut it loose in the cavity. We're now using machine learning-based AI to analyze the conditions inside the cavity within the ore body, and we're able to make real-time adjustments to optimize its size and design. This optimization has significant potential to improve both our productivity and our efficiency. Westinghouse has developed in-house nuclear-specific AI tools that make daily work more productive and less repetitive. Leading this innovation is Hive, an AI system designed to optimize every stage of the nuclear life cycle, from design and manufacturing to operations and maintenance. Complementing Hive is Bertha, a generative AI assistant that enhances operations from customer engagement to engineering design. These technologies are built on more than 75 years of experience in designing, building, and operating nuclear facilities. They leverage decades of proprietary data, knowledge, and expertise, supported by a dedicated team of nuclear engineers and data specialists. Advancements in AI will be essential for nuclear engineers and data scientists, creating opportunities for innovation across Westinghouse. To support this, data science and AI skills are accessible throughout the organization via training sessions, through shared resources and mentorship. Westinghouse is committed to ensuring every team involved in the innovation process benefits from AI and grows with it. So while there is excitement for what AI can bring for growth and opportunity in our industry, Cameco, like many other companies, is ensuring that we use AI responsibly. We've set out our core principles for using AI in our operations, which include fairness, transparency, accountability, privacy, security, and inclusivity and sustainability. We want to ensure AI applications treat individuals fairly, are understandable and auditable, safeguard personnel data, are protected from external breaches and cyber attacks, and minimize their environmental impact. So to conclude, ladies and gentlemen, artificial intelligence has presented the nuclear industry with an opportunity that we couldn't have even dreamed about a few short years ago. Working together, let's make the best of it. Thank you.